Hello guys on YouTube today. How are you guys today? Well, I want to have a product review of my spare Kodak DG Shield, a Z1485 IS camera today, and I want to do a product review for you guys and kind of show you what the camera does and what the camera should do and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and show you guys the front of the uh, camera itself. It has a LED recording light, it has the flash, it has a microphone, it has a 5x zoom lens in it, it has a 720 HD quality video and stuff like that. It supports up to the millimeters is the 35mm 175mm lens. That's a pretty nice size lens on this camera. This is a 14 megapixel camera. On the back of the camera, you have your 14.3 inch display LCD screen. By the way, it's not a touchscreen display. And you also got your zoom in and you zoom out. You got your delete. You got kind of like out control functions here. You got menu. You got review. And you got share, or share or favorites kind of button. Share button. That's what a little button on here Kodak always puts on the cameras. And on the top is your on control functions. Here is your speaker for your audio. Here's your timer, here's your flash, here's your on and off, here's the power LED. Again, when the camera is on, this turns the camera on and off. This is your scroller for your different modes, like your camera, your, kind of like panorama, all and stuff, kind of like that. It's kind of cool. You can turn this wheel, could put different functions on your camera. This is your shutter button. This helps to shuttle your camera on and off. When you push the shutter button, you can take a pretty good picture with this camera. And over here on this side of the camera, this is your wrist strap again to protect the camera from breaking. This is your 3-volt DC jack, and this is where your memory will go, and your VGA audio cable will go here. Right here, this is just a standard SSD card inside this camera for some video taking and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and go to the bottom of the camera. Here, the bottom of the camera is going to have your tripod. Dock is right in the middle of the camera. It's always a good thing to have right in the middle. And this little port right down here is your docking port. This also you can also buy a dock for this camera and stuff like that too. And this takes lithium-ion batteries. You can use the Kodak lithium-ion 3-cell battery, or AA lithium-ion batteries, or buy a rechargeable lithium-ion battery for this camera like I have. Right here I have a dual-cell rechargeable battery inside my Kodak camera. It works pretty good. It's pretty lightweight, it's very comfortable to hold. It's also a whole lot smaller than some of the other cameras, but it's not that thin. But it's still a bit bulky on the front side. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Well, I don't know how well this is going to come up on the camera here. Let's see. There is the screen. It's a pretty nice looking display. By the way, this is a pretty small form factor camera. Your panorama shots and high-res style for your camera, stuff like that. All sorts of different functions this camera can do. It would do panorama shots. It also do still photos, like just take a picture. Doesn't matter. Just take a picture or something, and it takes a pretty snappy picture. And if you don't want that picture, you can just hit the delete button It's a pretty nice little camera for a really small budget. This camera was probably maybe roughly $100 alone itself. And let's go ahead and turn it back on. I forgot to show you the lens. You can see that was the very small lens inside there. You can see that was the 5x zoom lens. Pretty nice lens. And by the way, this camera does stand out, kind of like this when you zoom in. That's all as far as it's going to go. And again, the battery has died because apparently my batteries are inside of all dead. But that's okay, that happens, you know. This is a very small compact camera for a low budget person that likes to take photography, like videos and taking pictures. And by the way, you can also buy a camera dock charger for your camera. And that's what this little guy is right here. This little guy is the Kodak docking system for this camera. This will work with any of the older cameras and also some of the newer cameras. Now this is by Kodak, by the way. This is your transfer switch. This is your LED power light when your batteries are charging. Now again, you're not going to get the dock with your camera. The only thing you're going to get with the dock or the camera itself is mostly likely going to be the tray itself. This is a tray, it comes with it. This is an accessory you can buy for the camera. It works pretty good. On the back, this is your 5-volt input DC line, your video and VGA video out and USB out, by the way. And on the bottom, not really special on the bottom, just a standard tripod mount. And this has different types of things it has on the bottom for this dock to work with your camera. This camera will fit just fine. And this docking system itself, it's a very sturdy dock, but I won't try to use this as a tripod. I won't try it on a tripod. I don't know how sturdy it would be if it's on your tripod. Now, again, the docking system, what it does, the docking system is a charger for your camera itself to able to charge your camera, to take your videos and also your pictures right off the camera without having this to hook up to the computer with a USB. And you have the USB connected to the dock here. You can just transfer the file by pushing this one single button. It's a pretty good looking case, a pretty good looking charger for your dock. It's also black and silver, matches the camera. The only thing, Kodak no longer makes the docking systems or the docking cameras anymore. You would have to kind of like hunt for those online to be able to get a docking camera if you really prefer a docking camera instead of just a regular camera. This is a very easy way to put this on your computer without having no problems at all. Now this camera dock you can also probably get for less than say $30 itself. Well, originally I paid full price for this, so it was actual, $50. But you know what? This is roughly, now used or new, you can probably buy these pretty cheap. This just rests the camera on top of the dock like this. You don't need to put any type of force to it, and when you have your USB connected to the dock, all you do, like I said, just push that little button, and it'll transfer all the files into your computer. Now let's get back into the camera now. The reason why this is my spare camera. Now, again, having an extra camera, guys, is a very good idea. It's really worth to have 3 or 4 cameras to able to have on hand when you're doing certain photography photography, taking photos and videos. The one thing, guys, this camera is not a waterproof camera. I would not recommend trying to dive with this camera underneath the water, but you could probably buy a type of accessory thing, like a waterproof membrane thing for it. Now, again, I don't recommend trying to use that. But this is a very useful, small, compact camera. It's not that big. Say, okay, let's kind of like measure a hair with my kind of finger hair. See, it's not that big with my finger, okay? And it's not that wide either. It's about the size as my little tip hair of my finger. Is this camera a good sized pocket camera? Well, the answer relies. The answer would be yes, but the answer would be no, because it's a little bit more thicker. It's not a lot thinner than a standard camera. You see, cameras nowadays are getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Nowadays, to just like this, almost about that thin, half the thinness of my camera itself. Now, I had this camera for a couple of years now, and I decided, maybe it's time to do something with this camera. Well, I gotta buy a new battery for it, and that's gonna be a very easy way to do. It just takes a standard lithium-ion battery. I don't want a rechargeable battery. I don't want one that's constantly have to buy and throw away camera or batteries. But this was actually my secondary camera. This was my second camera. My first camera was the Kodak Z1485 model. This is my second camera. And my other camera I'm using to record off of is my Kodak EasyShare Z1485 model. This was always been my favorite little pocket-sized camera. You can see it very fits very good in hands. It's very smooth. The only problem is the buttons. When you hold, you accidentally mess one of the buttons or click actually one of the buttons and delete a video or delete a file or a picture off your camera when you take the picture. That's why you kind of have this weird little spot you can put your thumb and you can just kind of like hold and click at the same time. And to show you how well this camera really does work, then take a picture of my dog. No problem. See, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a pretty unique looking system on this camera. Now again, I have left this camera on the dock too long, and that's one of the reasons why my batteries are dead and all. But that's okay. And in the front, the one thing I really love this camera a lot, but the problem with some of these smaller cameras is the flash itself. This is a stationary flash. This does not pop up or anything. This would give you kind of like that red eye effect and stuff like that. But the software with this camera, where you can also take the red eye off the picture and stuff like that, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty nice small camera. And if you're really on the go, you can always take your docking station for you. Now, the one thing Kodak used to do a very long time ago was Kodak used to make printing docks. Printing docks was a very big hit with some of these older docking cameras, where you can just dock and print at the same time. But nowadays, yeah, cameras and docking printers are kind of hard to find nowadays. But that's okay. This is kind of like my review of my camera and my dock as well. Alright guys, I hope you please subscribe, please leave a comment, please like, please share. Peace out guys, bye, we'll see you in the next vlog.